there's a balance in here. So part of what I want to encourage you to do in this new year is to find the balance in your practice, right? Like in January, your focus shouldn't be on being proficient. It should be on finding a balance between what are the evolution activities you want to be engaging, and then giving it time and space to become a reality in your life. So here's some helpful advice from a confidence coach. And as a confidence coach, I do work a lot in the sphere of routine and habits, and that's mostly in the mental emotional space, but everything starts in the brain. That's why every class you've ever been to, every course you've bought, and everything always starts with this like, let me play with your mind for a minute, because I want to help you get into that space where your mind is supporting you as you're going into this action and behavior, okay? Whatever it is that you tell yourself you can do or you make your body do will eventually seep into yourself as a habit, right? So if your mind already makes the decision that goes, I'm going to do this, or I am the person that does this, and then you make your body do the things. For those of you who are on the podcast, I just did the robot. You make your body do the things, it will, with consistency, seep into you as a habit, right? So the first piece of advice that I have for you is mentally making it a part of who you are instead of something that you do. It helps your brain rewire itself around like, I'm the kind of person that does this versus I have to go and do this now, right? So I'm going to use the example of me with the dishes. I've been thinking about doing this for a while. I've been thinking about making sure all the dishes are washed before I go to bed. But then you know what? I like make dinner, I look them down, I do it tomorrow. And then you do that for 2 or 3 days and you're like, oh, there's so many dishes in the sink. And then you don't want to do them at all, right? But this is something, I was actually sparked by somebody that I follow on Facebook because she said, I had this activity that I've been putting off for 3 months. I did it. It took me 17 minutes today. And the outcome of what I wanted it to be is spectacular. And I thought that it was going to take me hours and hours and hours. It took me 17 minutes and I've been putting it off for 3 months. And I was like, this is what people say about dishes all the time. People look at a sink of dishes and they're like, that's at least 30 minutes worth of dishes and you're done in 4 minutes. So then based off the motivation from that post on Facebook, I was like, I'm going to make sure that my dishes are washed every night before I go to bed. And what I'm going to say to myself is, I am the woman that lives in a house where the dishes are clean every night before she goes to bed. I am a woman who washes all of her dishes before she goes to sleep. I am a woman that makes sure that there are no dirty dishes in the sink and that all of them are washed before I lay my head to sleep, right? Like that was the mentality that I went through. And I'm still in that process right now, but it's been almost a month. And I'm like, now, as I'm looking at dishes in the sink, I wash them throughout the day. I put them away throughout the day. And then that way, like my sink's already empty before I go to bed. I don't have to do the dishes before I go to bed. The dishes are done. Isn't that cool? Anyway, you can take this analogy into any of the habits that it is that you are wanting to minimize or increase, right? I am the person that does not X, Y, and Z. I am the person that does X, Y, and Z, and allow that progress in the same way that me washing the dishes every day became that the sink is empty. Like the sink stays empty instead of I have to wash dishes at the end of the day. There was a gradual evolution to that. I was definitely washing dishes at the end of the day when I first started. And now it's like there's just no dishes in the sink and that's awesome, right? Allow that habit building to also be progress into whatever new thing it's going to look like as you continue doing it. The second piece of advice is it's 100% okay if you try something new and it's not as fulfilling as you thought it would be. Remember earlier when I was talking about the trying of new habits? Like you have a whole list from your mind map now. If you try something that used to bring you joy or used to bring you happiness and now it does not, I want you to give yourself permission to say, that doesn't fulfill me or make me happy anymore. I'm going to try something new. For the new things that you're trying, especially in regards to like habits or activities, like you have a whole list now. So don't make it, well, I tried that thing, it didn't work, and now I'm not doing anything anymore. Go back to your list and be like, okay, I'm just gonna cross that one off and like try something new. Because the evolution of you is not about quitting your progress. It's about doing things that support your progress. But like trying something, it doesn't work, and then you're like, that's it, I'm not evolving anymore. Like, that's not how you evolve. That's not how anything evolves. So it's about going back to the list and trying something new and giving yourself permission to try something new. Now, the caveat here is that you have to give it enough time. Like, you can't try it once and then, I mean, I guess you could try it once and be like, I hate that. But if you try something once and then what your mentality is I'm not as good as I used to be at this. Or like, like one of the things with me is I took a big break from running, and then I started running again, and my stamina was down and my time was down, and I was like, oh, I'm taking a big step back here, right? I'm not as good a runner as I used to be. But then I kept running for like 2 months and I got right back to where I was, right? So I don't want you to feel like if you're not good at it at the beginning, you drop it, or if it's not as super fulfilling at the beginning, you immediately drop it. Give it enough time and space. And then if you're like, this really don't, then feel okay with like letting it go and trying something else. But we don't want this to be like a jump, because that gets exhausting. That's a whole nother topic that I'm not even gonna talk about, okay?